Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Arknights animation reaction. Today we have the long overdue 6th anniversary CG animation. I did have a little bit of confusion as to which one I should get to because I saw that there was the event PV and I was like, okay, I think those are usually just like the gameplay stuff that gets showcased and is mostly motion graphics and not too much actual animation. But it seems like this CG one probably is the one that everyone's been talking about. So I'm going to assume that much and that this is the full thing. Sorry if people wanted me to get to the other one, but I know that those are just not really focused on character animation specifically, whereas these tend to be. So I'm gonna assume I'm correct there. But again, very long overdue on this, and I'm very sorry about that. But without further ado, let's go. Oh yeah, this has to be it. Somebody's a little twitchy. Definitely good character detail on that. Smooth. Run! Yo, that's sick. Fighting like crazy in a wheelchair. Hell yeah. Ooh. Haven't seen her in a while. Ooh. That was a neat effect they put on her. This does have a lot going on, doesn't it? This is great. Oh, that's so cool. Using the 3D camera? That's awesome. Yeah, this does... Ooh. Ooh, the movement. Okay. Hell yeah. Ooh. Was that an impact frame? Ooh. That was an impact frame. Good lord. This has to be the one people were talking about. Clever transition, too. That was really good. And we're not even done yet. Although I assume that's most of the character animation. Probably at the end here. Maybe not. Oh, that was neat. Good lord. Okay, when people were talking about it like it was a big thing and it had really good animation, they were right. I have so many things I want to talk about in here. that I don't think I'm going to be able to get to all of them without making this video at least 40 minutes, so I'm just going to pick my favorites. So starting from Exusier's little moment here in the confessional, I adore the physical personality they gave her. It's always a good idea to make characters feel more relatable in animation by adding things like this bouncing leg and especially her loose-lipped exhalation here. Even not knowing her personality prior to watching this, I'm able to immediately pick up that she's probably an impatient, ADHD-laden ball of energy that hates having to wait for the action to begin. It doesn't take too long to establish personality through actions, and even for those aware of her personality beforehand, it doubles as a "that's so her" moment. I also like seeing that her wings are moving along with her anxious twitching. This is definitely just because they're parented to the lower back or hips on her model, but it makes the movement feel even more jittery. That's more of a coincidence than intentional, but it made me laugh to see it. Also, just because there's a lot of Exusier's character animation in here that I would love to cover but won't due to time, just a quick mention that a lot of her movements are over-exaggerated, which adds to her personality. On top of being a ball of energy, she's also very clown-like and doesn't seem to take things too seriously, but can obviously control herself when the situation calls for it. Up next is the effect on Exusier here when Arturia catches her in what I'll assume to be some hypnotic power related to her playing. It goes for a warped fisheye on the background to separate the character from the background and results in this disorienting visual trick. This is actually a variation of the vertigo zoom that I've talked about in prior analysis. Pairing that with this echoed ghostly blur and you have this really nice surreal effect. Now it's time to get a little picky. This ball, when kicked at Arturia, looks great at first. It has solid squish and stretch applied. This is one of the first items most animators learn to tackle, as it's a great teacher of the fundamentals and physics of animation. The main rule here is that you want the ball to keep a shared mass while morphing where that mass is applied. If it's moving at high speeds, you should take the mass outward to make it longer, more of an oval than a circle. Unfortunately, when the ball ricochets off the force field here, it doesn't go in the right direction in space or squash enough to keep the speed to reach the far side of the room. We've already seen how far this ball would have to travel to hit that next point, and as it comes in, we see the ball has magically picked up speed and is coming in from a different direction. Like I said, this is definitely a nitpick, but physics can easily make or break. Seeing the ball leave frame, dropping low, and then somehow gaining enough speed to hit a point a good 20 feet from the floor and at least 15 from Arturia's platform, and then drop down backwards instead of glancing to the right as physics would demand, that kind of took me out of it. And I don't want to see the comments talking about how physics are different in this world, or how the force field could have affected the angle. We're allowed to criticize here. It doesn't necessarily make the animation bad to point out the flaws, it's how we learn.
It's not that serious.
And of course, I've got to talk about this 360 camera shot. This is simply cool because it's not done too often yet. But especially in recent years, support for 360 cameras in editing and 3D programs has expanded a lot. I'm assuming this is probably utilizing those tools to create an effect that would have been a pain just a few years ago. Effectively just load up the shots file, put the right panoramic camera settings in, and it would treat the render as if it were a real 360 camera. From there, you can basically tell any editor to give it the 360 planet treatment, and you're all done. This is theoretical though. It very well could have been done in a different way, as animation might complicate the simple process I've laid out. This is just how I've seen it done for stills before, and I imagine it'd be serviceable for animation if planned out correctly. This next bit of Exusier's animation got me really excited because I love to see the principles of animation flexed for visual appeal. This shot has a sick 1990s scissor spin. That's B-boy right there, son. Exusier confirmed powerhead. But anyway, as her feet come whipping toward the camera, her foot stretches to exaggerate her speed. It's a very quick moment, but worth mentioning. Just like this bell being used for a transition for this shot. And up next, we have the impact frames as always. Technically 2 sets as well. This first set here, as she loads up and shoots her gun, have colorized, very energetic impact frames. The shading is pushed to the max here, filling one half of the screen in pure white as it keeps her silhouette strong in the opposite side. The resulting payoff is this amazing shot of her taking up the lower third of the screen beautifully on mark and letting her silhouette be a backseat to the energy payoff. But then we get to the next set as it strikes the stained glass, and holy lord, no pun intended, this is beautiful. It's a much more traditional take than the prior set, but the extremely sharp edges and chromatic aberration are a beautiful pairing to the rainbow hues from the weapon. I also love that it uses the whole white frame to transition outside to another angle. They really utilize their impacts efficiently on this project, and I think we're all better people for having seen this pristine use of maximized minimalism in action. Also, just another small shout out for the minute detail here that Lumen's wheelchair rolls back with the air pressure. Not really much to say in detail there, I just appreciate that they included it. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, I can only get to a few things. There's only so much I can fit in a video without it getting stupid long, but between all of the awesome movement in here and the use of the camera in a lot of clever ways, the action was fantastic. I can't stop gushing about it, but I have to. So thank you all so very much for watching. If you have anything else you want me to get to, I promise I won't delay it as much as I did this past time. We just had a lot of things getting in the way on my schedule. I couldn't quite reach it. I know I'm like a full-time person here now, but I do have other things to do outside of YouTube, and these videos do take quite a while longer than my average reactions to produce, so that's why it took me a while. But I don't like making promises I can't keep, so I try to keep them even if they are a little bit late. But like I said, if you have anything you want me to get to, drop it in the comments and I will do my best as always to get to it. Or if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!